We'll tell anybody that we do that?
Sure, no one will watch this.
Nobody.
If there's one dumpling that I associate most with comfort food, the one that makes me think of my Jewish grandma, holidays, and a truly nurturing bowl of soup, it has to be the matzo ball. It's a dumpling that's become synonymous with Jewish deli food and culture, served bobbing around in hot bowls of chicken soup meant to cure whatever ails you. We start this episode at Nate and Al's in Beverly Hills, where Chef Jose Estrada and co-owner Shelly Azoff show us how they make hundreds of matzo balls every day. Then we head north to Santa Rosa to visit Grossman's Noshery, where Mark and Terry Stark serve a variety of dumplings with roots all over Eastern Europe.
I have been working out a lot. Okay, sorry.
In case you're wondering, there really is a Nate and an Al. Nate Reimer and Al Mendelson opened Nate and Al's Delicatessen in 1945. It's a place that hasn't changed much over the years, valuing the history and tradition of deli food, with a menu that includes all the familiar favorites, with brisket, corned beef, and impressive platters of smoked fish. For a time, longtime fans worried about the future of the deli, after multiple rumors of closures, moves, reopenings, and new owners over the past 4 years. But not much has changed in terms of the food or the atmosphere. This is still the place for Reuben and latkes, and the matzo ball soup is still essential to the Nate and Al's experience.
For every recipe, we are making 160 balls, matzo balls. For every recipe is 100 eggs.
Okay.
28 cups of matzo meal, 6 cups of chicken fat, and 6 tablespoons baking powder.
This is the key ingredient.
Some people, they use olive oil, vegetable oil, and some people, they are using even water. They add water.
Yeah.
But there is different recipes, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah,
Jose.
this is the base for this
I like
restaurant.
I like the schmaltz, the fat.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What is the first step?
Okay, we're gonna mix the broth that we have here. Here we have 100 eggs. Okay. Here start to whisk the eggs first, and then we're gonna be adding the chicken fat. We're gonna add the baking powder.
So is that to kind of help the balls fluff up in the soup?
Yes, the baking powder.
That's a workout, Angel.
It is. It's really strong. It's really strong
It
because.
is very strong.
But this is just for the liquid. When you put this one, it's really
Stiffens up.
Yeah.
So how many batches like this are you making a day?
We make sometimes depend the days. Like at the weekends, we make 3 batches a day.
Wow. And it's only 1 ball per bowl of soup?
For one person, one order is one bowl.
Do you ever have people ordering the matzo balls with no soup?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. 2 matzo balls, or 3 matzo balls, 4 matzo balls.
Just in a bowl, no soup?
No soup, no vegetables.
That's a hardcore matzo lover.
Now, all this we had to make the dog with hand by hand.
So it's really just kind of by feel.
You feel, and then you know, if he has years doing this, he knows when it's gonna be dry in the moment.
The matzo balls are shaped by hand and cooked in large pots of boiling water for 20 to 30 minutes or until they float. The pots get a couple of good shakes throughout the cooking process to make sure that the dumplings don't stick together. Once they're cooked, they cool off in a cold water bath before service.
Now you know there's all different kinds of matzo balls for all different kinds of people. There's no right or wrong matzo balls. Some people like them small and dense, hard. My father used to call them hard matzo balls, which is how he had my mother make them. So this style is much more on the fluffy, but not fall apart style.
It's on the softer side, but I like it because then it soaks up all the soup.
It does.
Which is really nice. So are you a rye bread person or a bagel
Both.
chip?
I'm a bread, carbohydrate person all the way around, Jen, aren't you?
Yes,
I mean,
me too. So there's no right one, it's just whatever you prefer.
it's whatever you prefer. And also crackers. You know, what I would do when my mother would bring me soup when I was homesick in bed was take Ritz crackers and crumble it up and put it in so it was all soak in.
I love that. No, this is definitely medicine. Do you know my life started in a booth behind you?
No.
My mother went into labor in that booth eating latkes and a knockwurst. And the server told her, she said, honey, please don't break your water in here.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're an LA girl too.
Yes, yes. My life started at this restaurant.
That's an incredible story.
So is this the same recipe that's been at the restaurant for years?
Forever.
Okay.
Forever. When my husband and I bought the restaurant, one of the most important things to us was to keep everything exactly the same as it was from day one, and the Mendelsohn family, Nate and Al. And so we've changed nothing, and they keep the recipe a secret from me as well. God knows what would happen if we ever changed it.
You know, I grew up eating matzah and matzo balls, so this to me is super nostalgic and very comforting.
It is such a tradition in Jewish culture, but I think it far expands just that, where people will come in just for the matzo ball soup.
Talk to me more about why it's important for Jewish culture and deli culture.
There are so few delis left that really bring back the history of Jewish food. And I think you don't get any more traditional than matzo ball soup. This brings it all together in a family kind of way because everyone likes it.
Why did you want to buy the restaurant?
It has been here for 75 years, and I remember coming as a little girl. My parents would bring me here, and we took our kids here, and it was like, it can't close, and especially because there's just no deli food that's really great around anymore. And my kids bring their kids, so my grandkids come. And you know, the people that worked here, we have people that have been here 35 years, more, forever and ever. And you know, that was important to us to keep the family together of the restaurant, the Nate and Al's history, the people that count on it, that come in here daily, you know. Even during pandemic, they'd, you know, come and pick up, and it was like, I have been thanked so many times by people saying, we don't know what we do without Nate and Al's, you know. It was a big decision, and it's, you know, a lot to carry this tradition and keep it as it was, and so people still enjoy it and the generations to come.
At the end of the 19th century, more than 5 million Jewish people lived in the Russian Empire, which at the time included Poland and Ukraine. The diaspora of the Jewish people meant an overlap of cultures and cuisines, including dumplings. If you're lucky, you might find Pelmeni, Varenyky, or Kreplach on the menu at your local Jewish deli. At Grossman's Noshery in Santa Rosa, you'll find excellent versions of all three. Co-owner Mark Stark invited us into his home kitchen to show us how to make the dumplings. Then we headed to the restaurant to eat and drink some ice-cold vodka, which I learned is now my ideal pairing for a bowl of dumplings.
I just grew some hair on my chin.
So we're gonna make some dumplings today, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
are.
We got 3 different types of dumplings. 2 of them are gonna use the same dough. We're gonna make some pelmeni. Traditional filling for pelmeni, need got a ½ a pound of top quality ground beef, some naturally raised veal, equal amounts. This is our little addition, some finely chopped shiitake mushrooms, grated onions or pureed onions, raw. So we're just gonna mix this until the meat will start to get a little bit tacky.
Mark made a simple dough of flour, water, eggs, and salt for both the pelmeni and varenyky. Then he used a mold to batch fill and fold each of the dumplings.
So what we have to do is gotta dust this guy. Otherwise, it's gonna stick. Push this down a little bit so you can see where to put the meat. You just take a little bit of filling, kind of round it up just a little bit. Pretty easy, yes?
Sure, I'll try.
Come on.
You'll let me know how I do. I'm sure of it.
Yes, I will.
And these are labor intensive. All
Those
right.
are looking great.
Oh, good.
Just gonna lay that over, okay? And then gently just start rolling. You get them sort of flat, then a little more pressure. Okay, so there we go. Now we just gotta get them out. And then we're just gonna... These are beautiful. We're gonna break these up, and then all we're gonna do is pop them in some boiling salted water. So I've got some butter, some sour cream in there, okay? A little salt, definitely some black pepper, and we're gonna put some fresh chopped dill, a little bit of the vinegar. There you go, pelmeni. We're gonna make the filling for the varenyky now, typically potato-based. It can be cabbage, and it can be a combination of potato and cheese. And if you get the opportunity to do that, then who doesn't want to put potato and cheese together, stuff it in some dough, and then fry it, right?
That sounds fantastic.
So we're gonna do that.
Okay, great.
Some Yukon Gold potatoes. We're gonna add some caramelized onions to that. Sometimes we'll use farmer's cheese, which is just a very mild, fresh cheese. Today I have some local cream cheese.
Stark's dumplings represent a cultural medley of Eastern European and Ashkenazi traditions and foods, with various American and unexpected Asian influences.
That looks good to me.
The varenyky are filled and folded using a crescent-shaped mold, then cooked in a pot of boiling water.
We're gonna cook these guys one more time in a little bit of brown butter. I'm gonna get crispy on one side, just get a little bit of color. We're gonna use some lemon juice. And we're gonna finish this with a little bit of dill too. There we go. Potato varenyky with smoked trout roe, brown butter, and sour cream. And I love this one because we use wonton wrappers.
Yes, we didn't have to make the dough.
Don't have to make the dough. Dough is fun. These get it done. Okay, we're gonna make some chicken kreplach. Now, you can use different types of meat, and I believe you can use vegetables too. So we're gonna use some ground chicken thighs. Use some scallions, gotta have it, right? Soy sauce again.
You gotta have the soy sauce.
Gotta have the soy sauce. And some, of course, black pepper. Secret weapon, chopped chicken liver.
The kreplach are assembled by adding a dollop of filling to the middle of a wonton wrapper. We applied a bit of water to the edges, then folded 2 corners of the wrappers over to make little triangles. Mark boils the dumplings until the filling is cooked, then finishes them in a pan with some chicken stock, soy sauce, vinegar, and a lot of butter.
We're gonna add those right in there with the sauce. Let's check this. Okay, we're gonna give them a little scallions. When the bubbles are starting to get a little bit bigger, you can kind of see that it is almost there. We have some fried shallots, a little crunch, and some fried chicken skin, or the onion and the chicken skin together is a Jewish condiment called grabenis.
A little deconstructed. Well, tell me about Grossman's.
Grossman is my family name, so the Jewish side runs in my family. We found this space in this great historic building and had the space to put in a bakery. And again, we wanted to do our own bagels and all of the other breads that we need for the other restaurants, so it worked out.
Wow. Are we doing 1 and 1? Okay, here we go.
Just, a sip, we can sip.
This was not full when it got to the table.
please.
It was not
It was
full.
not even half full.
Pineapple.
How is something that simple so satisfying?
I feel like because it's simple, it's
Yeah.
satisfying. Depending on the different styles of dumplings, I feel like some are prized for being thinner,
Mm-hmm.
whereas these, like, I like that these are doughy dumplings.
Yeah.
Like, these are stick to your ribs, hearty, like really good food that you want to throw back a couple
Yep.
of these with.
This is
Yeah.
a savory dough with filling,
Yes,
not filling with dough.
100%. So Kreplach for you. All right, so this is the one with the chicken liver
Yes.
inside. Those are kind of ridiculous. The sauce actually turns into more of like a glaze.
Yes.
It's really, really nice.
Cheers.
Great, this is how it's gonna go. All right, cheers.
You really get to know people when you eat with them.
I'm getting to know you guys really well right now.
Right?
These are kind of like a latke, and I put onions in my latkes. I should put caramelized onions in my latkes. These are kind of like a latke with sour cream. And if you put like some
get that.
creme fraiche and like dill on
And
it.
smoked salmon.
And smoked salmon. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of reminiscent of that. These are ultra satisfying. Do you think this would pass the grandma test?
She'd say, yeah, they're okay. Let's get some to go.
Have you met my grandma?
You know what? I
sound just
believe
like
I've met
her.
them all.